भाई मैं टोपी पहन लेता हूँ, बहुत बकवास लग रहा है।
शिनचैन लग रहा है तू भाई।
अबे
खबीब
बोलेगा
और
तुम
शिनचैन का
खबीब लग
मिक्स
रहा
लग
है।
रहा है।
क्या बोले भैया? क्या
खबीब और
बोले?
शिनचैन का मिक्स लग रहा है।
तब ठीक है, मिक्स
वो
ठीक है, ठीक
पता
है।
नहीं यार, नया नया जो है ना वो हजबुल्ला, मेरे को तो हजबुल्ला भी लगता है।
हजीबुल्ला
हाँ बहुत
हजीबुल्ला
पसंद है, बहुत
यू
क्यूट
आर
है।
अ चिकन।
क्या बोलता है कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है, लेकिन जो बोलता है मजा आ जाता है सुनने में।
क्यूट है ना भाई।
Hello guys, I'm Diptan. Welcome to Nerds and Jocks Dugout Discussions. This is our fourth episode, and I am thankful to all of you guys who have subscribed to our channel. Keep supporting us, keep spreading the love, and we will do the same. आपको यहाँ पे सब मिलेगा, स्पोर्ट्स डिबेट्स, फिटनेस, मांगास, एनिमेस, कॉमिक्स, सब मिलेगा। हम लोगों को थोड़ा सपोर्ट कीजिए, बस थोड़ा सपोर्ट चाहिए और कुछ नहीं चाहिए, सपोर्ट और प्यार करते रहिए। थैंक यू। शाग्निक?
Well, I would like to say the same as Diptan ne bola. We are grateful to each and every one of you who have come forward to support our initiative, and we'll see that you get the same support and love from our side.
एग्जैक्टली। चलो आज शुरू करते हैं इंग्लैंड क्रोएशिया के बारे में। हम लोग सीधा आएंगे रोहित दा के पास। रोहित दा।
Yes.
कल ऑनेस्टली आई फर्स्ट हाफ जो मैंने देखा था अबाउट इंग्लैंड एंड क्रोएशिया, first of all, I was really not happy to Southgate, the team that he fielded. But when the game actually started, I was kind of shocked to see the attack that England started with. मैंने जैसे बोला था कि it was going to be pace against artistry. That is exactly what unfolded. Because starting में Calvin Phillips played a very crucial role. And Phil Foden का जो 4th minute में the shot that he took and it blazed the woodwork and it went by, is that was a signal that England was going to attack and Croatia had to sit back, soak in the pressure and get back to them. And that is what was unfolding. Unfortunately, beach में Croatia started settling down very comfortably because England का attacks बहुत one dimensional हो जा रहा था and for some reason or the other, Harry Kane, in fact friendlies में भी ऐसा हुआ था, Harry Kane was not in the limelight. Harry Kane was wandering around वो starting में, उसको कुछ ज्यादा ही मतलब he didn't know what to do. He was expecting balls to come to him. Like last दिन मैंने बोला था कि a team, the reason England keeps on choking is because they lack that coordination. So Harry Kane has a terrific coordination in the Tottenham side because he's got Son and he's got many other midfielders coming in together. But England का ये एक problem है. But England जो मुझे सबसे ज्यादा impress किया था was Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips really acted as a live wire for the English side. और उसका साथ even Raheem Sterling did a couple of runs which really looked great. But some way or the other, even Raheem Sterling, I don't know why he has this issue. उसको लास्ट मोमेंट तक पता नहीं रहता. ही इज अ वेरी गुड रनर डाउन द विंग, बहुत अच्छा कट इन करता है, ठीक है. इनफैक्ट जो आउटसाइड डॉजेस भी करता है दैट इज ऑल्सो गुड. बट वो फाइनल पास, वो फाइनल फिनिशिंग पोजीशन में आई हैव नॉट सीन राहीम स्टर्लिंग वेरी प्रोडक्टिव. Second half में I don't know what went there in the tunnel. What did Gareth Southgate tell them? England actually started producing fire. But जो goal England को मिला वो actually was against the run of play. Because Croatia slowly settle कर रहा था game में and Modric was starting to pull the strings. But out of nowhere once again it was Calvin Phillips. It was a brilliant pass. बंदा दो defenders को पीछे छोड़ा with that one turnaround that kind of twisted them into a knot, and then he created that picture perfect pass for Sterling. And I will praise that goal of Sterling. That was a brilliant move. That was a very intelligent move from Sterling. Ideally क्या करते हैं players? They choose the sides of the goal, and that is exactly जो Croatian goalkeeper था Livakovic. He went for a full stretch dive, but Sterling very nicely placed it straight down the center. Okay, so that is why it took a deflection of Livakovic and then it rolled down because he was not expecting the ball coming straight at him, and that is exactly what happened. And I believe that was a good show of like good presence of mind. और Harry Kane, like I said, उसका खराब फॉर्म चल रहा है, and that was what was proven even 4 minutes later when that was another brilliant pass from Foden and Phillips. They both combined exceptionally well. Sorry, Mason Mount and Phillips. They combined exceptionally well and they created a pass for Harry Kane to just smash home. But of course, there was a brilliant defensive work from the Netherlands. Sorry, not from the Netherlands. There was a brilliant defensive work that came up from the Croatian defender. I was not able to recall his name. But फिर भी हैरी केन को वो रेंज से गोल करना चाहिए था. That is my belief. That is something which he couldn't do. And slowly down the game, we saw that he was once again, he started to wander around. कोई aim नहीं था, कोई clarity नहीं था. So that is where I believe that this can actually trouble England, because Harry Kane is England's best hope. और अगर वो फॉर्म में जल्दी वापस नहीं आता है, बहुत सारा problems will be there. Croatia was impressive again in the latter half of the game, but like I said that मैंने रिव्यू में भी बोला था कि Ivan Perisic बहुत crucial होने वाला है, because he is Croatia's out and out striker. Unfortunately, Ivan Perisic was completely snapped out by Reece James and Tyrone Mings. उसको बॉल भी नहीं मिला, एक भी बॉल नहीं मिला, despite Modric trying his very best. So despite the fact that Croatia did start pulling the strings towards the latter half of the second 45 minutes, but वो जो स्ट्राइकर का प्रॉब्लम था ना, स्ट्राइकर का कमी उसको बहुत ज्यादा महसूस हुआ, and that is where Croatia lost the game. But nevertheless, England will definitely be happy with the result, but Southgate will have to do a lot of work if they have to remain as the contenders of the tournament, because I was really not impressed with England's performance. I believe they are capable of a lot more.
जी बिल्कुल, कल मैच में कुछ ज्यादा खास मजा नहीं आया. राजेश सीधा, आप सहमत?
100%. 100%. I agree with Rohit दा. तो मैं उससे ज्यादा एक्चुअली डिफरेंशिएट नहीं करूंगा. एक्चुअली ये सेक्शन को टू सेक्टर्स में बांटना चाहूंगा. One is the positive and another is the negative thing. The positive was that the defense line of England were really very good. So Mings, Stones, except Kyle Walker, I thought वो थोड़ा मतलब confused था, और I think he wasn't impressive enough. At the same time, I think मतलब जबरदस्ती दो राइट बैक को खिलाया जा रहा है साउथगेट का. मतलब मुझे लग रहा है साउथगेट खिला रहा है. So like the way Kyle Walker played, like if England going to play in some of the big teams, so even Germany, जो अभी अच्छा स्टेट में नहीं है, but even if Germany plays, I think England could hold out to them. You know, फ्रांस पोर्टुगल का बात तो छोड़ी दीजिए, कोई और बाकी टीम का कल जैसे नीदरलैंड खेला, आई थिंक नीदरलैंड ऐसे अगर मतलब काइल वॉकर का तरफ से अगर कोई बंदा घुसता है, उसका कोई डिपे, मेंफिस डिपे, डेया, कोई भी अगर आता है, तो आई थिंक ही विल स्ट्रगल अ लॉट. और वही कल मतलब देखा गया था, काइल वॉकर वाज स्ट्रगलिंग अ लॉट, but the defense line was really good. Declan Rice and Phillips were really good. Philip Rice actually provided the assist to Sterling as well. और फिर से मैं वही कहूंगा जो मैंने प्रीव्यू शो में कहा था कि पता नहीं यार, ये टीम जीतने के लिए बनाया गया है. जो भी ये टीम आप देखते हो ना इंग्लैंड का, दिस इज अ चैंपियन साइड मैन. लाइक फ्रॉम द पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू वेयर आई लुक, दिस इज अ चैंपियन साइड. बट जबरदस्ती इसको मतलब जिसके साउथगेट मतलब ऐसे कुछ प्रूफ करना चाहता है या ऐसे कुछ शोकेस कर रहा है कि ये टीम जीत ही नहीं सकता. बिकॉज फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग, व्हेन आई सॉ नेदरलैंड्स, और मैं अगर उस नेदरलैंड साइड का, नेदरलैंड्स आर ऑल वेरी अटैकिंग, if I put England on like against them, I see Netherlands scoring around 3-4 goals. That was how productive they were. Nevertheless, या मैगवायर शायद आ जाएगा बाद में, वो बात की बात है. पर कल like even Sterling played really well. जैसे रोहित दा ने बताया, like when they started, I was thinking मैंने Sterling को नहीं लिया था अपना टीम में, फोर्डिन को भी नहीं लिया था. Actually, even फोर्डिन ठीक है, I went for Rashford और Sancho. Actually, the main man I went for is Grealish, Jack Grealish, and that is what happened. That is what happened exactly. You know, Foden hit the bar within 6 minutes, I guess. Sterling का जो गोल है वो भी अगेंस्ट रन ऑफ प्ले था. इट वाज अ डिफ्लेक्शन एज वेल. हैरी केन तो दिखाई नहीं मैच में, ठीक है, गायब ही हो गया था ऑलमोस्ट. फिलिप्स, ही वाज आउटस्टैंडिंग ऑन द मिडिल, तो कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्रिएट कर रहा था. बट आफ्टर पोस्ट 20 minutes of the match, I didn't see any productivity. Okay, and at the same point of time, I really don't think, even though Sterling played well, yes, he did play well, but I don't see like this guy is winning trophy for England. Because completely I think productivity जब आएगा, जब when there will be much more productive players in there, ठीक है, जो बॉल बना सकता है, हैरी केन को डिलीवर कर सकता है, असिस्ट कर सकता है. ठीक है, माउंट के साथ वो तो खेल सकता है. एंड exactly the player which I want to say is Jack Grealish. If not Jack Grealish, then go for Jadon Sancho. Foden is a masterclass, I know, but in the future he will become one of the greats of the game. But for the timing, if I want to see England win the Euros against all the big teams, playing against all the big teams in the big knockout matches, I just don't see this team, winning all these big matches. I think if Southgate places this team in next round, in the round of 16, and I think if my prediction goes right, I think they might face Germany or Portugal. I think even if Germany is there, I think England will get knocked out actually. So I think he needs to change. मुझे नहीं लगता कि he will actually oppose the strategy of playing two holding midfielders. So I'm fine with that. ठीक है, दो holding midfielders खिलाओ, but you need productivity at front. Okay. And I don't think this forwards can deliver that productivity, not because they don't have the potential, because they not are in the form right now. Sterling is not in form. Harry Kane is not in form right now. As well as Phil Foden, like पहले ने जब start किया था, after that he was grabbing the balls, he was trying to dribble past the players, but end result was not there. So I think we need the end result. We need the goal. You can't remove Harry Kane. So you keep Harry Kane in front, okay, and let go Jack Grealish, play Sancho, or even play Rashford. If Sterling doesn't work, you should make a substitute, because you have those substitutes in your bench. So after half time, if you see there is no productivity, you should go for the substitute. So he should have made the changes, but nevertheless, it was a good result for England, and I hope they change their strategy a bit. Southgate change their strategy, and they come up with some good results and a good positive performance in the future. So let's see how it goes. Nevertheless, it was a very good performance, very good result for England.
Yes, Rohit.
I would like to add to Rajarsh's point. Yesterday, England's best player were two central midfielders. One was Calvin Phillips, the other was Declan Rice. ठीक है, मेरे ख्याल से गैरेथ साउथगेट का पता नहीं क्या प्रॉब्लम है. जब तुम्हारा पास यू हैव द बेस्ट ऑफ प्लेयर्स, आई स्टिल डू नॉट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ टैक्टिक या फिर व्हाट काइंड ऑफ अ ट्रेंड दिस इज, दैट तुम अपना बेस्ट प्लेयर्स को बेंच में रखो और फील्ड योर सेकंड स्ट्रिंग साइड. यू हैव ल्यूक शॉ जिसको तुम यूज नहीं करोगे, you have got Marcus Rashford जिसको तुम यूज नहीं करोगे. We all know that Marcus Rashford has not been in scoring form. That is correct. But Marcus Rashford has been brilliant on the wings. उसका स्पीड बोलो, उसका लॉन्ग रेंजर एबिलिटी बोलो, ठीक है, दैट इज समथिंग. पता नहीं यार गैरेथ साउथगेट यूज क्यों नहीं करता है. गैरेथ साउथगेट is I don't know what is this trend of him experimenting at such a big level tournament and then ultimately at the end of the day coming up with such mediocre results, because this is the team, yaar. Because Real Madrid, Barcelona, they are all chasing players like Rashford and Shaw and this guys, forgetting this guy's name, Reece James and Tyrone Mings. But unfortunately, he will have to stick to players who do not have the maximum productivity. Jack Grealish को वो कल use ही नहीं किया, but Jack Grealish has been a phenomenal player in the last 2 seasons. So I still do not understand why not use your best players जब तुम इतना एक serious level tournament खेलने जा रहे हो and keep them in the reserves. I know you may be a good coach, but at times his strategies really do not make any sense to me. So like Rajesh said, अगर कोई भी अटैकिंग टीम सामने गिरता है, सोच लो जर्मनी हो जाए, फ्रांस, स्पेन या फिर कोई भी अच्छा टीम, नेदरलैंड्स, तो वो शायद ये डिफेंस को आर पार करके रखने वाला.
जी बिल्कुल, नेदरलैंड्स वर्सेस यूक्रेन के बारे में भी बात करेंगे. नेदरलैंड्स यूक्रेन मुझे तो लगता है वन ऑफ द बेस्ट गेम हो गया है अभी यूरो कप में. आप लोग क्या कहना चाहोगे पैनल्स? राजू सीधा.
एक्चुअली कल मैं एक्चुअली इतना सोच रहा था कि ये मैच कैसे जाएगा, ठीक है. एक्चुअली आई डिडंट एक्सपेक्टेड दैट सॉर्ट ऑफ अ गेम, बट आई वाज स्टन्ड एंड माय आई कुडंट क्लोज माय आईज एक्चुअली फॉर अ सेकंड, बिकॉज इतना अग्रेसिव और इतना अटैकिंग सॉर्ट ऑफ गेम खेला है. नॉट ओनली नेदरलैंड्स, इवन यूक्रेन, ठीक है, काउंटर अटैक में वो लोग चेस कर रहा था एंड दे वर क्रिएटिंग अपॉर्चुनिटीज. दैट इज व्हाट आई वांटेड टू से इन द प्रीवियस गेम इन इंग्लैंड, but unfortunately let gets over it. No, we can't actually compare two games because they both have completely different, strategies all along. But the way Netherlands came up and Ukraine came up, I think it was an exciting match, man. I mean, this could be the match of the tournament, I guess. I hope to see a lot of good matches in future. But this is genuinely was the best match of the tournament, and especially Memphis Depay. He went for the solo down. I thought he should have scored, but wow, man, that was really good. Dumfries, he scored the goal. Depay scored the goal, and when they went 2-0 up, I thought that was it. That was the game for them. But suddenly Ukraine came alive and they scored two goals like in the sort of 5 minutes into 6 minutes, they scored two goals. So within that period when they scored, I thought, man, this is the game to look forward to. What a strike! And I think they showed very good spirit actually. Ukraine come up strong like that against such attacking side and Netherlands. And obviously it showed that Netherlands didn't have the experience of Van Dijk, and they literally missed him. And yeah, that was actually that was the space where Ukraine actually exposed, and they scored twice, and I thought this is going to be a draw. But again, there then comes another, a fairy tale comes and the header goes in, and Netherlands scored the winner. It was a brilliant match, exceptional match. It was great to see both the teams competing in such a high level and with such a high intensity. Nevertheless, the best team won. The Netherlands came up victorious. I think, as we had the preview session earlier, I definitely think Ukraine, in the later part of the tournament, they might be a challenge for any good side in this tournament. They might pull up a surprise. I do expect them to pull up a surprise, beating a good side in the knockout stages. Anything can happen in this tournament. The way these two teams played, I think these two teams actually have a very good future in the tournament. They might, especially Netherlands, they might end up playing the main finals also. So yeah.
शाग्निक, आपको कैसा लगा नेदरलैंड्स वर्सेस यूक्रेन?
Actually, Netherlands versus Ukraine was a great match. 0-0 till half time, और बाद में second half में 5 goal होना, Ukraine coming back 2-2, फिर Netherlands winning. In fact, Netherlands is missing Van Dijk and De Ligt. I think De Ligt is coming back by the next game, and this Netherlands side with Frenkie de Jong and Wijnaldum in the midfield, Memphis Depay in the forward, and this De Ligt if he comes back in the defense. So I think this is the orange force is rising, and they will be a really formidable team in the Euros.
First of all, 1074 passes और एक पासिंग एक्यूरेसी ऑफ 84.5%. ये स्टैट्स अगर हम जोड़ेंगे एक साथ, उससे हम लोग को पता चल जाता है कि गेम कितना अटैकिंग था. So after that, I don't think something needs to be said. First half में गोल नहीं हुआ, but the aggression that both the teams showed, especially Memphis Depay, it was just brilliant. Memphis Depay को it was at one point in time ऐसा लगा कि बंदा रुकने वाला है नहीं. आज कुछ भी आ जाए, if there is an avalanche, there is an earthquake, बंदा रुकने वाला है नहीं. He was that good. And the best part of the game was Frenkie de Jong. There's a reason why he's a part of Barcelona, and that is why Barcelona depends on him. He was brilliantly creative. It was not just about long passes for him. He actually stitched very short passes, and they were picture perfect passes. Or I would really appreciate Wijnaldum and Frenkie de Jong's positional sense. They shuffled between themselves in an excellent manner, which actually gave the edge to Weghorst and Memphis Depay. That was in the first half. Second half, both the teams, the reason this game actually turned into a very good game was because both the teams went into open play. There was no question of close play. कोई किसी को बस पार करने वाले तो है नहीं कोई, ठीक है. So we all know Netherlands is an attacking side. Ukraine ने जो mentality दिखाया ना, that was really impressive. Ukraine said that, boss, I am not going to sit back and go ahead and concede this goal. I'm going to hit back. And that is why, if you see, De Ligt, Van Dijk, कोई नहीं था defense में. फिर भी what Ukraine tried to do was, देखो, what Netherlands was doing, Netherlands still had the likes of Daley Blind, Timber and Beveridge, right? So all of them are good defenders on the ground. So Ukraine knew it won't be that easy for them to score from the ground, यार attack create करके या फिर वो cross create करके, and that is why goal छोड़ दो, Yarmolenko the goal that he scored, that was brilliant, no doubt about that. But other than that as well, he started going for shots. Out of the 7 shots taken by Ukraine, 5 were on target. So that kind of clarifies the intention that Ukraine had at the very beginning. If you know already कि भाई मुझे मुझसे नहीं होगा ये ground game से, I can't go ahead and beat Netherlands because they have a good defense. They may not have the best, but they still have a very good defense and they are very, very pacey. Netherlands is a very fast team. ठीक है, and that is why they are that dangerous. जैसे शाग्निक ने कहा था, ऑरेंज फोर्स इज ऑन द राइज, मेरे को लगता नहीं है दे आर ऑन द राइज, दे आर ऑलवेज ऑन द राइज, दे वर ऑलवेज अ फॉर्मिडेबल टीम. 2010 का वर्ल्ड कप देख लो, ठीक है, उसका पहले भी 2006 का भी वर्ल्ड कप में दे वर अ गुड टीम. द वे दे वैंक्विश्ड स्पेन इन द 2014 वर्ल्ड कप, ऑफ कोर्स वो जो फोर्स था शायद वो फोर्स और नहीं है अभी, बट फिर भी अभी जो टीम है that is still a very good team, and I believe that game between Netherlands and Ukraine was one of the best games. मैं अभी ये नहीं बोलूंगा कि यूक्रेन बाद में जाके giant killers बन सकते ये टूर्नामेंट का, but एक चीज I can say, the mentality that they have came to this tournament with, that mentality will help them to go a long way. Because again, mentality doesn't simply win you games, it needs a lot more than that, but mentality plays a crucial part. They probably do not have that much firepower that they used to have previously, but abhi bhi jo hai, they have a lot of experience in their side and they are going to use that, and the accuracy that they are showing in their long ranges, it will play a very crucial role in propelling them to the further stages.
आशा करते हैं वो लोग किसी को अपसेट भी करे इस यूरो पे. चलिए अब थोड़ा बात करते हैं जर्मनी वर्सेस फ्रांस के. बड़ा मैच है, पैनल्स. रोहित दा,
मेरे ख्याल से बेस्ट गेम तो यही होना चाहिए, जर्मनी वर्सेस फ्रांस. अगेन लाइक ये एक्सपेक्टेशन तो हमें इंग्लैंड वर्सेस क्रोएशिया से भी था, बट आउट ऑफ नोवेयर इट डिडंट हैपन. I personally believe that Germany will be a team to watch out for with their attacking force, because अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि despite the fact they do not have the best of the attacking unit, they still have Serge Gnabry. They still have Timo Werner, who probably is trolled on the internet. But if Werner actually clicks, that can be very dangerous. Okay? And alongside Timo Werner, Germany will also be relying on the likes of their midfield. They have got a very strong midfield, or मेरे ख्याल से that is exactly what they will be rooting for, because their midfield is what makes them very dangerous. और उसका साथ we all know that they have already beaten Latvia 7-1 in the friendlies. I guess that itself is a burning note to their attacking force. Along with that, they will be bringing in the likes of Thomas Muller. Thomas Muller may not be completely fit, but he is dangerous. They have gotten Leroy Sané. We all know what kind of blistering speed he is capable of. At the same time, they also got in the likes of Ilkay Gundogan. Gundogan was a very phenomenal force in Manchester City winning the Premier League. वो जब सब्स्टिट्यूट होके आता था बंदा एक बहुत क्रूशियल रोल प्ले किया. दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाई आई बिलीव जर्मनी विल बी अ गुड टीम टू वॉच आउट फॉर, डिस्पाइट द फैक्ट दैट दे डोंट हैव द बेस्ट ऑफ अटैकिंग फोर्सेस राइट नाउ. वन मोर नेम दैट आईड लाइक टू मेक इट वेरी क्लियर फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू, एंड दैट इज Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer can go ahead and create a lot of upsets. We are all aware of that. He is the best stripping keeper at the moment in the world, and I am very sure if Manuel Neuer remains strong like the way he is, it will be very difficult for France to kick in with their best. No matter how good of a team France is, I won't say that Manuel Neuer is equivalent to the Titan Oliver Kahn, but Manuel Neuer is definitely the perfect successor to Oliver Kahn. So that is why Germany has a very good chance of winning the game. Now again, coming to the France team, this French team has a lot of attacking options. They have got Karim Benzema, they have got Griezmann, they have got Mbappe. तुमको यार probably this is the world's best attacking unit at the moment. They have got Paul Pogba in the midfield, they have got Kante, they have got Tolisso. Along with that, they have got Kingsley Coman, right? Coman. So believe me, all of these players coming in together for one team, that's a threat itself. No matter how good of a defensive unit you have got, it will be difficult for you to hold on. Now, there's a slight twist. Germany doesn't like, no matter how good of a team they are up against, Germany का philosophy यही dictate करते हैं कि boss, I will not sit back and go ahead and soak the pressure. if they are going to hit me back on 2 occasions, I'll hit them back on 4, which is actually a very good strategy, I believe. Like attack is the best defense. That is what my belief is well. But right now, Germany will have to be very cautious because again, they'll have to keep this in mind. They no longer have the likes of Podolski, Lamb, Klose, Gotza, and Ruiz, right? So they'll have to depend on players like Timo Werner and Thomas Muller. So Thomas Muller is way past his time. Timo Werner is a very moody player. The day he fires everything in his way. But most of the days, जो actually occasionally नहीं होता है, most of the days जब बंदा नहीं fire करता है, बंदा comes, takes a walk in the park and goes away. So that is something Germany will have to be very cautious about. They'll have to be very cautious about their technique. They can't simply just attack against France. Because we also have to understand the defense that France comes with into this tournament. They have got Lucas Hernandez, they have got Kimpembe, they have got Pavard, and they have got Varane. So Pavard and Varane makes a very deadly combination, and we all witnessed the goal that Pavard scored in the 2018 World Cup against Argentina. I mean, that was probably for me, that was the best goal of the tournament. I mean, वहाँ से volley रखना, एक half volley रखना is not that easy. And he did it. He did it from a distance. So that is why I kind of believe that France also has a very strong defensive unit. So this is a match for match. This is an eye for an eye game which is gonna happen. Germany ka only problem है Germany's attack is not that good. But once again, we cannot just they have got Leroy Sané who has got scoring abilities. They have got Serge Gnabry who can take those long shots. So that is exactly why even France will have to be very cautious. Just because they are the world champions doesn't mean they will have it easy against Germany. I personally would root for this game to be the game of the tournament in the league stages. If not, we are going to see a replication of the England-Croatia match where both the teams decide that we are going to sit back and we will not attack because both the teams are very good in defense. But again, I don't believe this will be the case because I have never seen Kylian Mbappe sitting down. Whenever he is on the field, he'll have to run. And I have never seen Antoine Griezmann also sitting back. The best part about France will be their re-inclusion of Karim Benzema. Karim Benzema is not he's right now not in the most phenomenal form of his life, but Karim Benzema knows how to score, and that is what is going to be his advantage along with Mbappe and Griezmann by his side. Alongside that, France has got the likes of Ousmane Dembele. They have got the likes of Clement Lenglet. And we are forgetting another name, जो mostly कोई game बिना game खेल के इसको cup मिल जाता है, but actually he can also spell danger, and that is Olivier Giroud. Olivier Giroud has got a very good knack for scoring late goals, so we can't even go ahead and keep him away from the game, right? So that is why France is such a dangerous side, and at the same time, Germany, I won't say they are a very dangerous side to topple France, but of course they are going to be a tough team to break. So according to me, if you ask me predictions, मेरे ख्याल से game should be either a 2-1 for France or it may be a 3-0 for Germany and France.
Okay, राजोशिदा, फ्रांस के लिए प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी नहीं होगा?
France के लिए, like seeing at their squad, I don't think it will be. Yes, obviously it will be a challenge for them to play against Germany, but I don't think they will face that problem because throughout the years Germany had had the upper hand for the last decade or so. Okay. Like after 2006, till the last World Cup, or you say the last Euros, okay. Germany had that, Germany was a team to, beat up actually. बीच में स्पेन था, बहुत अच्छा पैच गया तो Germany World Cup चैंपियन हुए. So I think this is the time when France will dominate, and I feel जैसे रोहित ने कहा कि this might be a scratchy game. ठीक है, जहाँ where we are actually expecting it will be a very expensive football, but both the sides might settle for a draw. हो ही सकता है. At the same time, फिर से जो रोहित ने लास्ट में कहा कि फ्रांस में वैसा प्लेयर है नहीं who will hold back actually. ठीक है, Paul Pogba, he always looks forward. Griezmann, he always looks forward. Mbappe, he will actually push forward a lot, and even Pavard from the right back position. I think he always tends to go forward. उनका डिफेंस लाइन भी अच्छा है, ठीक है. So midfield will be the main place where the match might get decided. At the same point of time, I think Germany lacks the power in their at the front door. At the same point of time, France has the quality with themselves to which they can produce a lot of good balls to Griezmann and Mbappe. And I think at the same point of time, जैसे रोहित दा ने फिर से कहा, like actually रोहित दा covered all the points. So I would say Manuel Neuer. Manuel Neuer is going to be the main force for Germany because I think अगर Germany को कुछ results चाहिए इसमें से, if they have to get any sort of results, I think Manuel Neuer has to pull up some good saves. Along with that, I think this time France will actually look to dominate the position, and they will go on attacking. I think. I don't think both the teams will hold back, but I won't be surprised if both those teams hold back and settle for a draw, which I don't think will happen because from my point of view, I think France will go actually all out, and Germany will have to contain their pressure. And yeah, obviously, कुछ समय में I think Germany might go for a counter attack, or they might go for some good volleys and try to score some goals. So there will be opportunities, but I think France might prevail with a 3-1 victory over Germany.
Okay, 3-1 victory this time. आप बोल रहे हो आपके लास्ट कुछ प्रेडिक्शंस गलत निकले हैं, आप श्योर हो? 3-1
गलत निकला है, बट आई
close
थिंक
है, आप close थे.
मैंने ब्राजील वाला बोला था 4-0, वो
और 3-0 हुआ.
हाँ मतलब एक गोल
मैं बहुत मन से चाह रहा था
समझ में
4-0 हो जाए.
मेरे में एक गोल डिस्काउंट दे दिया.
मैं बहुत मन से चाह रहा था 4-0 हो जाए, इंग्लैंड वाला भी मैं चाह रहा था 2-0 हो जाए, लेकिन 1-0 एक गोल कम हो रहा है.
दोनों मैच ही डिस्काउंट दे दिया एक गोल में. यार क्या चल रहा है पता नहीं मेरे को डिस्काउंट नहीं चाहिए यार.
ठीक है, हम सबको गोल्स देखना पसंद है, जो भी है. ठीक है, हम लोग शाग्निक के पास आएंगे. शाग्निक, कौन फेवरेट्स लग रहा है
जर्मनी वर्सेस फ्रांस में? जर्मनी वर्सेस फ्रांस में कुछ चीज मैं बोलना चाहूंगा, मतलब थोड़ा डिफरेंट है. ऑब्वियसली माय फेवरेट गैलेक्टिको करीम बेंजेमा इज मेकिंग अ कमबैक, तो वो मेरे लिए बहुत स्पेशल है कि करीम बेंजेमा इज मेकिंग अ कमबैक टू द फ्रेंच स्क्वाड. बट आई थिंक देयर इज वन गाय इन द जर्मन स्क्वाड वी वुड लुक फॉरवर्ड टू, व्हिच इज काई हैवर्ट्स. काई हैवर्ट्स ने चैंपियंस लीग में भी बहुत अच्छा खेला, एंड दिस डुओ ऑफ काई हैवर्ट्स एंड टिमो वर्नर, आई थिंक आई विल बी लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू देम टू मेक अ डिफरेंस. तो मेरे ख्याल से कहीं ना कहीं मेरे गट फीलिंग आ रही है कि जर्मनी विल क्लिंच दिस मैच. क्या होता है, बट ऑब्वियसली फ्रांस इज अ चैंपियन स्क्वाड, मतलब दे आर कमिंग इन आफ्टर अ वर्ल्ड कप विन, और वहां पे मतलब स्क्वाड में काफी डेप्थ है. बट कहीं ना कहीं आई थिंक द जर्मन्स हैव नथिंग टू लूज, दे विल गो ऑल इन विद अ न्यू स्क्वाड, एंड दिस मे बी द लास्ट टूर्नामेंट ऑफ जोआकिम लो, सो ऑब्वियसली दे विल फाइट फॉर समथिंग. दैट इज व्हाट आई फील.
जी राजोशिता, क्या बोल रहे थे? जी राजोशिता.
Yeah, actually, I think I missed out a point where I would like to actually give some. I would like to highlight something. That is, I would like to ask Rohit as well regarding whether he actually, agrees with this point or not. That France have forgotten contain midfield. Okay, but Germany has Toni Kroos. They have, I think, Gundogan. Okay, and they might play Leroy Sané, some sort of area in there. They have Thomas Muller. So I think Germany do have a bit of upper hand when it comes to the midfield area. Okay, so I think they will play a crucial role. But what do you think, how will Kante play? Because Kante, whenever actually I have seen Kante playing against the United, he didn't actually succeeded much against United, but whenever he has played against City, he tends to actually, get a man marking or get hold of Kevin De Bruyne. And like whenever he played against Real Madrid, he got hold over Toni Kroos. I think, do you think that he will play that role again when he plays against Germany? Because there are a lot of players. I don't think Pogba is the player who will run back and, try to defend, because he isn't good at that. And he hasn't done that United as well. So it's only Kante who actually tends to hold back players, and tend to hold the ball and give assist to Pogba and pass on the ball to the forward. So what sort of role do you think Kante will play in this match, right?
I'll come to your question, Rajoshi. Before that, I'd like to answer Diptayan. Diptayan asked you a very good question कि फ्रांस में शायद ये प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी नहीं होगा. अभी जो वो 5-man सब्स्टिट्यूशन का रूल है until 2022, मेरे ख्याल से वो रूल रहने के लिए ये प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज 5 substitutions are quite a lot. So and along with that, Didier Deschamps is a very seasoned coach. So I believe that he knows how he is coordinating his team. So he is not going to go ahead and let this problem of plenty happen. Now coming to Rajoshi's point, I personally believe N'Golo Kante is going to play a defensive midfielder role that he plays for Chelsea. I'll tell you why exactly, because Germany has got the likes of Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos is someone who believes in the long passes. Ilkay Gundogan is the one who goes for the attack through the ground move. बहुत अच्छा कंबाइन करके बंदा ग्राउंड से सेंटर से ही अटैक ही डार्ट्स इनटू दैट अटैकिंग एरिया. इन द अटैकिंग थर्ड तुमको अगर देखोगे तो इल्कay Gundogan roams around in that attacking area. He even goes into that final shooting spot as well. But you will find this very rare in case of Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos is someone who sets those long balls. Long balls, he creates those through balls for a player running in. So that is why I believe that is why Kante is going to be very handy as a defensive midfielder, because in case Toni Kroos are long balls, we are all aware that Kante is a brilliant defensive midfielder when it comes to the ground playing. Okay? So when we go for those long ball things, that is where Kroos will have to be absolutely perfect, because we are not aware of this thing that most likely Gundogan won't be having a good outing, given the fact that Kante has been superior in the last few matches. He's been in electrifying form. Talking about Pogba पहले जो मैनचेस्टर के लिए रोल खेलता था लास्ट 2 सीजन में, Pogba used to be playing, like what would I say? Pogba used to play in the role of like in a defensive midfield. बंदा defensive मीडियो करके Scott McTominay के साथ पार्टनरशिप करता था. But now Pogba is no longer playing that role. Pogba gets up. If you actually follow, Pogba loves to dribble. Last कुछ matches जो मैनचेस्टर के लिए वो खेला है, he is dribbling, he is taking the long ranges. And like the way Toni Kroos has those long balls, similarly Pogba is one of the best creators of long ball in the world at the moment. And we are all aware of that. And along with Kylian Mbappe on the loose, we are very well aware that what Pogba is going to do is simply going to unleash those long balls in the path of Mbappe, given Mbappe's speed. So that is why for me, Pogba will play as an attacking midfielder, wherein Kante will set in as a defensive midfielder, nullifying the likes of Ilkay Gundogan. Now, if Gundogan is nullified, I believe the German coach will go for either Jamal Musiala or Leroy Sané. Now, Leroy Sané is a winger. He is not a very good midfield. Like, if you put him into the center, we have seen Leroy Sané being nullified because he was being put into the center. Because उसका जो speed है ना, वो wing से काम आता है. बंदा बहुत अच्छा cross कर सकता है. He can run in with those shots. And along with that, we have got the likes of Joshua Kimmich. Joshua Kimmich can shuffle between the wing and the center. But once again, Joshua Kimmich is not known for his long ball. So by the deployment of Kante, 3 players are getting nullified. One is Ilkay Gundogan, the other one is Joshua Kimmich, and the third one will be Leroy Sané if he is being deployed in the center. So that is a worry for the German coach. So bacha kaun? Bacha Toni Kroos, who doesn't go into a one-to-one combat right through the center. He loves to create those long balls, he chips it. And Kante hasn't got a good height. Kante probably is very good in the aerial balls, but when those long balls come in, Kante का जो advantage है वो पूरा nullify होने वाला है. And that is exactly where the French defense will come in. That is exactly where, like, if France, अगर Deschamps को ये लगता है कि मुझे अटैक से अटैक, लाइक वो अगर अटैक करता है मेरा काउंटर भी अटैक होगा, तो टोनी क्रूज का लॉन्ग बॉल का रिस्पॉन्स विल बी पॉल पोग्बा's लॉन्ग बॉल. एज सिंपल एज दैट.